Iamque domos patrias, sithis post aspiragentis prelia, Lorigero, and C. Statius, Theb. 12, 519. Whilom, as old stories tell Lenus, 860 there was a duck that hight Theseus, of Athenes he was lord and governor, and in his time switch a conqueror, that greater was the noon under the sun. Full many a riche country had he won, 865 what with his wisdom and his chivalry, he conquered all the regni of Feminae, that whilom was Wyclep Scythia, 10, and wed Didi the queen Hippolyta, and brought her home with him in his country 870 with muchel glory and great solemnity, and eke here young Suster Emily. And thus with victory and with melody lead I this noble duck to Athenes ride, and al his host, in arms, him by side. Quotation, so in EHN, CPPT lane 865. EHL. That, rest what? 868, CPHL wed Didi, slow. Wed-eyed, rest wedded. 871, fair, PT yenge, rest young. 875 in certes, if it neared along to here, I woldehan told you fully the maneer, how one was the regni of Feminae, 20, by Theseus, and by his chivalry, and of the Greta Betuli for the knowns 880 bit wicks in Athenes and Amazons, and how assedged was Hippolyta, the fair hardy queen of Scythia, and of the fest that was at here wedding, 27, t. 886 to 921. And of the tempest at here homecomenge, 885 but all that thing I mood is now forbear. I have, God woot, a large field to air, and waked in the oxen in my plough. 30. The remnant of the tale is long enough. I will not let 10 eke noon of this route, 890 lat every fila tell his tale aboot, and lat see now who shall the soper win, and there I left, I will a jean begin. 876, HL Han told O, Yahwa told, rest ha told. 880, Turwood inserts the after end, but C 968, 973, 1023, and C 889. HL let eke non of L, rest let 10, and omit L 892. HL again, EHN, CPPTIN. This duck, of whom I make mention, when he was come almost under the tune, 895 inches L his wheel and in his most pride, he was wore, as he cast his eye aside, where that there kneeled in the highway, 40, a company of ladies, tway, eke after other, clad in clothes blake, 900 but switch a cry and switch a way they make, that in this world nis creature livingda, that heard switch another waymenting, and of this cry they nold never stenten, till they the reins of his bridle henten. 897, EOM high, rest high, hey, high. 905 What folk ben ye, that at myn humca minge perturban so my fest with cryinga? Quoth Theseus, have ye so greed envy, 50, of myn honor, that thus compline and cry? Or who hath yow misboden, or offended? 910 And telleth me if it may been amended, and why that ye ben clothed thus in black? The eldest lady of Hamal spake, when she had sworn with a deedly share, that it was Ruth for to seen and hear, 915 And said, Lord, to whom fortune hath given victory, and as a conqueror to liven, not graveth us your glory and your honor, 60, but we bisken mercy and succor. Have mercy on our woe and our distress. 28, T 922 to 957. 920 Some drop of pity, third thy gentlesse, up on us wretched woman let thou fall. For certes, Lord, there nis noon of us ele, that she nath been a duchess or a queen, now be we caitiffs, as it is wel senna, 925 Thanked be fortune, and here false wheel, that noon est at assureth to be wheel. And certes, Lord, to abide in your presence, 70, here in the temple of the goddess Clemence we han ben way tingel this fortnight, 930 Now help us, Lord, sith it is in thy might. 912, CM, eldest, eldest. 914, Ruth, lane Ruth, slow. Reuth. HL or, rest end. 915, HN, Ewan, Ewan. 916, HN, conqueror, conqueror. 917, HN, HL not, PT lane nat HLOM second year. 922, HL nies, rest is. 923, EHN, PT Lane in Ehath. 924, CPHL Catifs, EHN, PT KDUs. I wretch, which that weep and wail thus, was whilom waf to King Capanus, that starth at Thebes, cursed be that day. And Allah we, that been in this array, 935 and making all this lamentation, we los 10 ali our housebonds at that tune, whwl that the sedge thoroughbut lay. 80, and yet now the old Creon, wail away. That lord is now of Thebes the city, 940 fulfilled of ire and of iniquity, he, for despite, and for his tyranny, to do the deedy bodies villainy, of alle our lords, which that ben slaw, hath alle the bodies on an heap why draw, 945 and will not suffer in hem, by noon ascent, neither to been why buried nor why brent, but mocketh hounds eat him and despite. 90, and with that word, withouten more respite, they fill and gruff, and cried en piteously, 950 have on us wretched woman some mercy, and lad our soreway sin ken and thyn hurt. 931, Cree, HN whale, CPPT while. 938, only HLOM now. 943, HL Islaw. 944, He hath, rest hath. This shanty ducked down from his courser sturt with hurt patoos, when he heard him speak. Him thought that his herd wolde breek, 955 when he saw him so patoos and so mat, 29, T 958 to 995. That whilom wherein of so great estat. And in his arms he hem alla uphent, 100, and hem conforteth in full good entente, and swore his oath, as he was true knight, 960 he wolde doon so furforthly his might up on the Tyron Creon hem to reek, that all the people of Greece should speak how Creon was of Theseus why served, as he that had his death full wel deserved. 965 and right anoon, withouten more abood, his banner he displayeth, and forth rude to Thebes ward, and el his host by side, 110, no near Athenes wolde he go and he ride, ne take his essay fully half a day, 970 but onward on his way that night he lay, and sente anoon Hippolyta the queen, and Emily here young Sustershen, unto the tune of Athenes to dwell, and forth he writ, there Aeneas na more to tell. 955, Mott. 956, Estet. 974, CP Nice, rest is. 975 The reed statue of Mars, with spear and targe, so shineth in his white banner large, that alle the field a glitterin up and down, 120, and by his banner born is his penown of gold full riche, in which there was Wybet 980 the Minotaur, which that he slough in Crete. Thus writ this duck, thus writ this conqueror, and in his host of chivalry the flower, till that he came to Thebes, and a light fair in a field, there as he thought fight. 985 But shortly for to speaking of this thing, with Creon, which that was of Thebes king, he fought, and slew him manly as a knight, 130, in plain battle, and putty the folk to flight, and by a sot he won the city after, 990 and ronta down Boda wall, and sparre, and rafter, and to the ladies he restored again the bones of her housebonds that were slain, to doon obsequies, as was though the jice. 30, T 996, 1031. But it were all too long for to devise 995 the Greta clamour and the waymenting that the ladies made at the brenning of the bodies, and the Greta honour, 140, that Theseus, the noble conqueror, doth to the ladies, while they from him went, 1000 but shortly for to tell his myn entente. One that this worthy duck, this Theseus, hath Creon slain, and one Thebes thus, still in that field he took all night his rest, and died with all the country as him lest. 984, HN thought, thought. 992, Warren. 996, HL. Which that. 1005 to ransack in the TAS of bodies deedy, hem for the streep of harneys and of weed, the pilers died in biciness and cure, 150, after the battle and discomfiture. And so biful, that in the TAS they found, 1010 third girt with many a grievous bloody wound, two young knights ligging by and by, Boda in one arms, wrought full richly, of which two, Arcita hight that oon, and that other knight hight Palamon. 1015 nat fully quick, any fully deedy they were, but by here coat armures, and by here dear, the Herods knew him best in special, 160, as they that wherein of the blood royal of Thebes, and of Sustran too why born. 1020 out of the Tiaeus the pilars han hem torn, and han hem carried soft unto the taunt of Theseus, and he full sown hem sente to Athenes, to dwellen in prison perpetually, he nold no ronsound. 1025 and one this worthy duck hath thus why done, he took his host, and whom he rued anon with laura crown as a conqueror, 170, and there he liveth, in ioy and in honor, term of his life, what nadeth wards him mo? 31, T 1032 to 1066. 1030 and in a tour, in anguish and in wood, dwell in this Palamon and eke Arcite, forevermore, there may no gold hem quite. 1005, 1009, 1020. EHN Ciemitas, HL Cas, CPPT Lane Cas, Read TAS 1005. HN CM HL of, rest of the 1013, 1014. HL Height, E Height. 1022, E HL Fulse and he. 1023, HL Tathines for 2. 1029, E CM OM his. E Liu, rest life, lif. 1031, E CM HL. This Palamon and his Phila are sight. This passeth year by year, and day by day, till it fill once, in a more way of May, 1035 that Amelie, that fairer was to Senna than is the lily upon his stalk green, and fresher than the May with flowers new, 180, for with the rose colour stroof here hue, I note which was the fairer of hem 2 1040 ere it were day, as was here wont to do, she was arisen, and already dight, for May will have no sloggardy a night. The sea sound priketh every Johnny hurt, and mocketh him out of his sleep to sturt, 1045 and seeth, Aries, and do thyn observance. This maked Emily have remembrance to doon honor to May, and for to rise. 190, why clothed was she fresh, for to devise, here yellow here was broidered in a tress, 1050 behind here bach, a yard long, I guess. And in the garden, at the sun uprist, she walketh up and down, and as here least she gathereth flowers, party white and reed, to make a sodal girland for here Hedda, 1055 and as an ongle heavenly she song. The Greta tour, that was so thick and strong, which of the castel was the chief donjon, 200, there is the knights wherein in prison, of which I told a yow, and tell Lenschel, 1060 was even ion into the garden wall, there is this Emily had here playing. Bright was the sun, and clear that Morwanage, and Palamon, this woeful prisoner, as was his wone, by leave of his gaoler, 32, T 1067 to 1103. 1065 was risen, and roamed in a chamber on hay, in which he held a noble citise, and eke the garden, full of branches green, 210, there is this fresh Emily the shen was in here walk, and roamed up and down. 1070 this sorrowful prisoner, this Palamon, goth in the chamber, roaming to and fro, and to himself complaining of his woe, that he was born, full oft he said, alas. And so by aventure or cas, 1075 that thurga window, thick of many a bar of your ingreet, and square as any sparrow, he cast his eye upon Amelia, 220, and therewithal he blaint, and cried as though he stungen were unto the hurt. 1080 and with that cry Arcite anon upstert, and said, Cosin myn, what aileth thee, that art so pale and deedly on a sea? Why criedst thou? Who hath thee doen offence? For God's love, tak al in patience 1085 our prison, for it may none other be, fortune hath given us this adversity. Some wicked aspect or disposition, 230, of Saturn, by some constellation, hath given us this, although we had it sworn, 1090 so stood the heaven one that we were born, we most endure it, this is the short and plain. 1036, HL on higher. 1039, EHL finer, CM finera, HN CPPT fairer. 1042, E slogardry, rest sloggardy, sluggardy. 1049, EHN CM CP broided, PT braided, lane HL browded. 1054, lane sodal, CP subtle, EHN CM subtle, kin subtle, HL certing. 1055, HLPT Huonly, CM Hunilish, EHN CP Lane Hunishly. 1063, E. And this Palamon. 1065, HLCPPT on, Reston. 1091, only E. O. Emmet.